Hello, Martin Heidegger is one of the most important figures in continental philosophy, and his writing could be a bit dense. That's where this video comes. The following is an introduction to some of the major ideas in Heidegger's book Being and Time. Heidegger starts by saying that all philosophical discussions of what being is, what the existence of humans mean, were monopolized by either idealism or materialism, and as a result, important aspects were neglected, unexplored. Heidegger first makes an important distinction. He differentiates between being and a being. Now, a being or beings in the countable form refer to all the objects that populate the world. Animals, rocks, teapots are all beings. Being in the uncountable form is something that only humans have. Heidegger identified the understanding of this being that only humans have as the key to unlocking the understanding of all types of existence. In Being and Time, he details his philosophical view, which rests upon three main cornerstones: the human's being, which is described as Dasein, with its two modes or types, which are authentic existence, Eigentlichkeit, and inauthentic existence, Uneigentlichkeit, the idea of angst and temporality. Let's focus on the first cornerstone, the existence of the human or Dasein. First, let's try to answer this question, this simple question: do all the objects of the world have the same type of existence? Plants, humans, animals, microbes? It doesn't seem so. There appears to be a hierarchy of existence. Some of the objects of the world have a simpler type of existence, while others, namely humans, have a more complex type of existence. Heidegger answers this question in the same way we would. Not all objects of the world have the same type of existence. He expands his answer to differentiate between a being and being. A being is anything that has a known and a specific nature, and this includes all the objects of the world other than humans. Being is what sets humans apart. In fact, humans are the only species that has being, and that is not a being. Another question we can ask at this point and answer is, what makes a being different from being? The answer is that being includes existence plus something else paired with it, and this something else is awareness of this existence. Being in the uncountable form means existing and being aware of one's existence. So humans have being, they're aware that they exist, and they're also aware that their existence is finite. In this way, humans are not only objects of the world. Humans' awareness of their existence makes them think of who they are, what they can be, how they can be. This element of awareness makes them completely different from any other beings. For example, this is a pen. It is a being. It is a being, but it doesn't have being because it lacks awareness. Only humans are aware of their existence and of the existence of a whole world that predates them and that outpowers them. I think now we've established that the existence of humans is completely different from the existence of all the other things in the world. Moreover, the highest form of existence that we know of is the existence of humans because it has this element of awareness. Based on this, if we want to understand existence in general, we have to focus on the existence of humans because it's superior to all other types of existence. And this is the same conclusion that Heidegger arrives at. The peephole through which we can look at the mystery that existence is the existence of the human, Dasein. First, Dasein is made of two words, and I'm sure you've read countless times how it's made of the two words being and there. Now, being refers to existence plus awareness, and there refers to the world. A world whose existence predates and will outlast the existence of itself. A world that has its laws. A world that is clearly more powerful than the human. The world doesn't bend its rules to accommodate humans. Humans live according to how the world is. Contrary to all the other objects of the world, humans reflect on how they're affected by the world. This makes the existence of humans incomplete because, contrary to rocks, animals, tables, humans question what they are, what happens after death, who is responsible for how the world is in terms of its rules like gravity, the necessity to consume food and water to stay alive, the level of precision with which internal organs function. Animals too need to feed to stay alive. Their internal organs function at a high level of complexity too, but animals don't ask questions about why is that so or how is that so. This Dasein, which is made of existence paired with awareness of its own existence and of the world, makes humans incomplete in a state of continuous potentiality. It's important to note here that when we say the existence of humans in the world, we shouldn't understand it as the existence of an object in an environment, like the existence of this pen in a palm of my hand. We've established that humans are different and experience the world differently. Let me give you an example that shows clearly what is meant here. Let's say it's the evening and a person is walking peacefully in an empty street. The person inadvertently looks down and spots a $20 bill. Now, this event, the moment the person's eyes capture the bill, will not be experienced in the same way by any two humans in the world. Every person in the world will experience the event of his eyes capturing the sight of the bill differently. That's what we learn in phenomenology. Different parameters will determine how this event is lived. For a rich person, a $20 bill is negligible. For somebody who's low on money, it's something huge. For a student, it's a different experience. For somebody who's $20 short of buying some product, his mind would immediately go in that direction. This example of the $20 bill could be extrapolated to every experience in the world. This is what is meant by Dasein, being there in the world and experiencing it through a complex multi-layered network of awareness. This Dasein, according to Heidegger, is the most efficient tool to understand the world. The world is not an independent object to be measured objectively and independently. It is experienced through the complex layers of awareness that Dasein procures. Another aspect of Dasein is that it is the only being in the world that is not self-centered. And by self-centered here, I mean only thinks of itself. For example, a tiger only thinks of itself and that it needs to feed. It doesn't think about the feelings of its prey or of anything else outside itself. That's why there are no tigers that are vegan or vegetarian, while there are humans who refuse to consume animals or who sedate the animals before they kill them to be consumed as food. Dasein is the only being that reflects on the world and on other beings. Dasein is also an ongoing ontology because humans are in a state of continuous experience of the world. This experience never stops as long as the person is conscious and awake. This makes the being of Dasein dynamic and forever changing, as opposed to other beings that are one thing, one fixed thing. A table is a table, a tiger is a tiger, but a human can be anything. The human doesn't have any preset function or essence, which is the central idea in existentialism. This gives Dasein an immense freedom. But this freedom is also the source of what Heidegger refers to as angst. This angst, or existential dread, is created by the freedom to be anything plus temporality and the inevitability of death. You can wonder, how does freedom lead to angst? Isn't freedom good and angst bad? Let's answer that. Freedom entails that a person can choose to be anything, but the moment you choose to be one thing, you condemn yourself to abandon all the other things that you potentially could be. This was beautifully expressed by Kierkegaard, the first existentialist, in his book Either Or, where he says that regardless of any decision you make, you will always end up regretting it. Because our lives are finite, making the choice of what to be immediately eliminates all other choices. So when I choose to be something, I accept that there are a lot of other things I will never be, and this creates a state of dread. But it's interesting how Heidegger describes how how this angst is also the best tool that the human has at his disposal. And let me try to summarize how that is so. Heidegger says that humans are born into and live in societies, organized groups that have customs, traditions, and ways of life. The human can either dissolve in the group he's born into by adopting the same principles, the same way of life, or use his freedom of being whatever he wants to be and use that continuous state of dread to decide for himself, to change if he wants to change, and to constantly reinvent himself. Dissolving into the group one lives in is what Heidegger refers to as living an inauthentic life. And using your angst, choosing for yourself, and reinventing yourself is what Heidegger terms as living an authentic life. Now this video has reached its end. Until we meet again, have a great day.